Hello friends, I have something so exciting to show you today. I've just spent all morning creating this and I'm so excited to share it with you. But first, could you like this video, subscribe to the channel please, and share the video if it resonates with you. That would super help me. And just so you know, I'm going to be doing a live stream at the end of next week, either Thursday or Friday, the 22nd or 23rd. I'm working out the time, but look out for that because I'd love to have you guys on the live stream asking questions, or if you want to contact me, I have my contact page linked in the About section, and or put it under this video if you have questions you'd like me to address in the live stream or topics you want me to focus on. I would love to hear it. Okay, so what is this Schumann resonance video about? Let's take a look at the current chart. Here's today's chart. And if you're new to the channel, I want to refer you to my beginners playlist because the things that I'm going to talk about, I go into detail in some of these topics, like why I feel that the resonances are reflective of human consciousness, number one. Number two, why the solar system can affect the Schumann resonance. Why the sun can affect the Schumann resonance, why human beings can affect the human resonance. So I go through all of this information, in those videos, and how I came to develop those as hypotheses. When I look at the chart, I combine a science approach and a spiritual/intuitive approach. So I'm talking about energy. That's the biggest thing for me. I love to talk about energy and how it influences our lives. And by the way, we are energy. We generate energy. And when we come to understand the mechanics and the dynamics of how we do this and how energy works in our physical bodies and in our energy fields, then we can really steer the ship. Okay, we can steer the ship that is, the human body, the human energy system, and we can take greater control over our lives. It's really exciting. So I'm excited to share these concepts with you. So today what I wanted to show you was something about these huge waves of energy. And I can guarantee you I don't think anyone else is talking about this. So this is unique, exciting, and it's genius, okay? It's genius. So let's dig into this together. So here's the first wave that occurred in this chart, or set of waves, and here's the second set of waves. The most interesting thing about these waves is how they just seem to appear, right? Sometimes the waves seem to come off of other energy or develop out of other energy. But these two waves just are like plopped on top of the chart. This is a chart from earlier this week, and it goes up until Sunday. Okay, I did my last video, I think, on this chart. Yeah, I did. So what I wanted to show you was the movement of the energy in the chart. It's like waves. How I look at this is I look at it like it's 3D and like it's flipped up facing me, so that like if my eyes were level with the flat chart, then what I see is I see lifted up waves on the chart. Okay, so if the chart is like this, okay, flat, and where the bottom would be facing my eyes, then this is what I see. Okay, I see like this. Okay, I see the waves of energy. Okay, that's how I think of the chart. Now when it's flat 2D like this, I can still see that. So I've talked about this about 3 or 4 videos ago, but this is, I'm going to give you an example of how I'm looking at this, okay? So the energy kind of comes like this on this chart. Let me try and make this thicker. Okay, now like it comes up and then goes down. Do you see that? It comes up, it kind of skips a little right there, and then it goes down a little, but then it comes up into this, and it's like it crests here, right? It's like it crests, and now it's coming down kind of steeply, and then kind of bottoms very deeply, and then now it's coming up again. And different parts of the chart, like the low versus high hertz, can have different patterns. All right, okay, that's going down, up, up. Okay, maybe a little bit higher there. Okay, so you see that? So that's kind of how I look at the energy. I probably should have drawn it in a straight line, but I drew it at an angle here. So see what I'm talking about? If this was just the line of the chart flat on a table, and then my eyes were at the tabletop, then I'd be looking at the waves like that, okay? So that's kind of how I see this, and I think what we're looking at, right? We're looking at the waves of the resonance. Another way to look and think about it is here's the resonances, and they're moving in waves around the planet, and they kind of echo, or actually it's a repeat, right? The waves are lower down in general on the hertz level, and the lower that the hertz are, the further distance they go. And so these waves will tend to go around the planet. And you can kind of see that sometimes on the chart. I haven't talked a lot about it, but in my mind, I think about it. So I'm just wanted to show you this, okay? Because it's important to what we're going to be talking about. So you can see how this chart is a bit different. So if I was going to draw the waves on this chart, it would kind of be like here, and then whoa, what was like something just kind of, it's like it skirted across the energy, right? And then you can kind of continue down here and then up, and then whoa, it's just this wave comes in, and it's like it skirts across the energy, and then here I go, I'm like, it's kind of a little dip there. Down. It's very choppy in here. And then another one comes in, and it just skirts across the energy. And then underneath, it's almost like it's flat down. But we're kind of recovering from this whole. All right, so it's like it shook us up. Like, this isn't the normal wave pattern, right? You can see that, right? That's not the normal pattern. It's shaken us up. And in fact, it's almost like, see how the waves have gotten quicker, and they're less high, they're quicker, and they're closer together. Okay, and then here, I don't even know what's happening over here. Okay, but so it's almost like, especially in here, it's almost like a reverb effect. Like if you go, right, if two objects come into relation where they're going to reverb against each other. I don't want to go into this too much, so I'm just going to highlight it. And then they come into each other's fields, and then they reverb like that. Okay, it's almost like this. It's almost like that here, like it's a reverberation. Okay, so I'm going over these concepts. Like, I just want to go over it kind of quickly and succinctly. What I'm saying is that these waves are different, right, than the normal waves that come in. There's no attachment point, really. And with the exception of here, right here in these lower hertz, these are in the alphas, okay? So it's about, I don't know, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, maybe 15. And do you see the little drag there? The little drag in red, okay? It's almost like, and then this energy here, okay? It's almost like the wave is related to this somehow, but yet it still just appears. There's no, and energetically, I can't feel any attachment point intuitively to it. Now, what is happening here? Sometimes it feels like the Schumann is in waves, right? And on the chart that it's in waves that are traveling across the planet, through the atmosphere, really through us. But sometimes it feels like there's an energy that it's just coming in, right? It feels like maybe it glances across the earth, or some kind of cosmic energy just comes at the earth or through the earth, or maybe it just, glances through our atmosphere. This is what I'm guessing. And it kind of, that idea matches with various individuals who talk about the higher photonic light coming into the planet, like Sandra Walter, Or like Cliff High has been talking about strange energies from space, although I'm not talking about strange energies here. I'm going to talk about solar system energies. But basically, what I'm saying is that there are energies in the solar system, whether they're from the cosmos or whether they're from solar system effects of the planets moving, right? That could create energy waves that would affect the Earth. And I've explained this in detail previously, because when I look clairvoyantly at the solar system, the sun, and the planets, I see a grid system that all the planets are on energetically, like an architecture, like a grid system. And then when the planets move, right, to different points on the grid electromagnetically, especially when they come into closer contact, it highlights electromagnetically a part of the field of the solar system, and I feel that can reverberate back to Earth. When some of this energy just cuts across the chart, right? Because here you have the waves that we talked about, but then sometimes the energy just, it's almost like it comes in vertically, right? Visually, it's like, where did that come from? And even, a lot of times with these waves, it's just, look, it's the entire chart. And I think that, see here, and I'm sorry, but apparently there's a construction equipment moving around outside, so I did everything I could to make it quiet in the background, but we just have to deal with it, right, today. But anyway, see this light blue here? This is in about 1 or half a hertz range to 0, so even at the very, very lowest ranges of our existence, this wave is affecting us. And you see it going all the way to the bottom. So where is the energy coming from? Well, I think that this chart, the past few days, the biggest energetic factor and also kind of spiritual factor has been Mars and Venus coming into conjunction. This is a big effect, right? It's a major astrological point. And there are other times where astrological effects I've shown on the chart. But think about Mars and Venus. They are the planets that are the closest to Earth. Okay, and so if you had your telescope, or you could take your phone and download a Skywatch app, okay, and point it at the sky tonight, and what you will see, or you could, on my phone I can do it during the day and it'll still show me the position of the planets in the daytime, but you point it at the sky and you will see that Mars and Venus are literally right on top of each other, right, in the images in the app. Well, it's because Mars and Venus both moved to 20 degrees of Leo, okay? And as one was approaching the other, okay, this is called applying energy in astrology, and I thank my friend Andrea for teaching me about this. And when she comes out, she's going to be, I don't know when it's going to be, but she's going to be rolling out some interesting astrology stuff, and hopefully we will get a sneak peek. I'll let you guys know when that happens. But when you have the applying energy, that's when the energy is at its most powerful. And so the conjunction happened exactly where they moved to exactly the same degree right here at about 3:30, 3:20 a.m. Tomsk time on the chart. And the energy, the wave was strongest as it was applying. And then we got another wave of energy as Mars and Venus were literally sitting at the same place in the sky, the exact same degree of Leo. And then that lasted for several hours. So we got 3 a.m. and then it lasted until about 20 hours on the chart. And then Venus moved off of 20 degrees and on to 21 degrees. And at that exact moment, we get a huge wave of energy as Leo moves off. As Venus moves off of the point in Leo that Mars is also at, and then we get a second wave here. Now on Earth, what happened was we got these geomagnetic storms. It was so cool. Okay, so I'm recording this a little later now, but this is the super cool thing I wanted to talk to you about and show you now that we built some themes in the first part of the video. Here is what I think is happening, okay? Venus and Mars, right? They're the two closest planets. What if, as they move closer to each other and then are essentially at the same point in Leo, in their various spots in the sky as it appears to us on Earth. So as they are at this same point, let me do this over here. There's an energy dynamic between them, right? It makes them more powerful together. And so I illustrated that by the gold lines. Now, since they're close to Earth, okay, I've got Earth here, okay, and there's the Schumann resonance. There's the little energy around Earth. And then this is sort of the greater field of Earth. And so the energy between Venus and Mars, it's like it calls to the energy of Earth, or it kind of glances. It creates I don't know if it creates a field of some sort or a dynamic, right? Whereby it affects electromagnetically, it affects Earth. And so that's what the white line here is, the greater electromagnetic field of Earth, okay? And I know it's not exactly a circle like this, but that's how I'm drawing it for this. So this effect here comes into close enough range to Earth, because these planets are so close to us, that essentially affects our magnetic field. This is what I'm thinking. Okay, when I saw the chart, that's what I was thinking about. So now what I'm doing is I'm using the blue, okay, to show what I think the effect is. I think it could be twofold, okay? In the moments where this effect takes place, could it, number one, energetically expand the field, okay, of Earth? Energetically expand it, and it could expand it interdimensionally. Okay, it might not be a change in it might not be a change that it might be an energetic change, okay, rather than a physical change. In which case, that's why I showed the expanded EM field here. It's expanded in energy. So I made that the field bigger, and then I made it reaching upward. Okay, it's like it calls up. It's called up to the energy between these planets, right? It's like our brother Mars and our sister Venus are come together to support Earth in lifting herself up, and to support humanity in lifting ourselves up. And I think it's a spiritual energy. It's an actual energetic dynamic, and I think that it showed on the Schumann charts. So I just made this littler one here to, kind of more closely illustrate the effect. But so what I'm saying is as the two planets move to the same degree, what if this sort of boom, for a while it just expands upward, okay? And perhaps outward in all directions, but I just kind of can't get that to work right now. Maybe I do this. Yeah, so as they move together, it's like this, and maybe that's why you get this here, okay? As they come closer together, there's this expand. Maybe that's where this wave comes from, this expansive effect, okay? And then there's another wave. I don't know, maybe when they lock in at the same degree. So I just thought that this was so cool, and I tried to include everything in here. So you've got the planets, you've got the sun rays shining upon the Earth. And it is really fascinating how there was an effect around when Venus moved off of 20 degrees to the next degree. Okay, so now it's 1 degree from Mars. But right around when it moved off, there was a geomagnetic storm in the Earth's atmosphere. So I just thought that was an interesting coincidence. And I just thought this was so cool. I spent a bunch of time talking through this today with my friend Alex because I really find it helpful to bounce what I'm thinking off of and how I'm feeling the energy, and then I talk through it with her to help me put it into words, because these things can be, we don't have words for all of this stuff right now, and she has a science background, so it really helps for me to bounce stuff off of her. Now, I wanted to talk about one last thing, and that's the effect on the human being here. So, what is the effect on the human being? So I'm going to just move this for a second and put Earth. Wow. I'm going to put Earth over here for a sec. So now I'm going to use this to represent the human on Earth, okay? So here's our human energy field. Now the round circle is the human energy field. This rectangle would be our physical body inside the field. The light of the sun would be the soul connection. And so I think in a similar way, right? These energies come together and they do a similar thing. They kind of expand our field, okay? So as the planets move together, it's like whom, whom, and whom, our field. It's like our field expands. And I feel that this is an interdimensional effect. And there are very specific reasons why I think that and how I think it works, but I don't want to go into that right now because that would be like a full day seminar probably. Okay, when I come out with a book, it'll be helpful. It'll help us understand these things. But anyway, so let's put the Earth back there. So what is the theme here? I really feel that the theme this week and this reverberating energy, okay, because it's like when Venus and Mars move together to the same degree, there's this reverberation that's happening, right? From this and this, it's like the two of them, right? They're both at the same degree, and they have slightly different energies, right? So they're reverberating there, and those reverberations affect us. I believe they affect the Earth field, and they affect the human energy field, the human living on Earth. Well, what I have found this week, it's really come to me so strongly, and I'm thinking about doing a whole nother video on it, is that the theme of brothers and sisters coming together and supporting each other, it's been so huge. Across the board, I found it on an individual experience. I had a past life come up just as we started to move into these energies, and it was all about a brother and a sister and this dynamic that happened. And the sister, I was the sister in the past. As the sister, I had blamed myself, and the brother, through the ages, okay, has had to wait and just sort of lovingly wait for me to, or that person that I was, that's now in, was part of my energy field. Now I've healed it. But has had to wait lovingly for his sister to come around, to let go of limitations and be ready to love again and meet him again as an equal. Yeah.